Okay. Afternoon, everyone. I'm Oliver Kinzonzi. I'm a candidate for the president of the UER Student Union. And here I have...
Viva, aka Fabulous.
And Ishel.
Okay, Isha and Fabulous. That's what stood out. Now, how long have you been at the university for?
About a year and a half now.
And you?
Nearly a year.
Okay. Now, just very briefly, tell me if you're happy about the university, okay? And then after that, tell me about the things that you're not happy about, very briefly.
I am happy with the university, but certain things can be changed, can be dealt about. For example, the cash machine, only one cash machine. Let's be serious. There's how many students in this university and only one cash machine? Something needs to be done. Are you sure?
Yeah, I agree. There's only one cash machine. On the weekends, there's actually nothing on campus for the students. It's a nice environment, but there's nothing that's really connecting everyone in the uni. There's no events, there's nothing going on. And yeah, about the cash machine, there's only one and it's out of service. So.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. You raise a really interesting point because obviously imagine that you've got to print something or you need to buy a book and that, and you need to take out money, you've got a deadline. The cash machine's not working, then obviously you don't hand it in and they give you a bad grade or what have you. So that's a powerful issue. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you about some of the proposals that I want to put forward if I get elected as your president. First thing and foremost, which is the most important, is I don't know what every student wants. And I'm not going to pretend I know either. One thing I will do is contract a professional company to come along and ask you guys questions about your preferences. Okay, they will do the job properly, and then once I've got that information, I'm then going to use whatever resources that the student union has to make sure that we deliver that to you. How does that sound?
Very good, but you see a very slow process. Can things be quick?
Sounds promising, but we just have to wait and see.
Absolutely. As far as the process, if I do get elected, I will be in from July. So on my first day of work, I will make a phone call to the Office of National Statistics and say, I want to employ you lot to ask these students questions about what they want. It's realistic. It's not one of those targets that, oh yes, I'm going to make 5 cash points, you know. I mean, it's ambitious, but, you know, you have to be realistic, you know. So that's my first one because the biggest issue that students have is that they're saying that they don't really feel represented, you know, they don't have a voice. And the best way for me to give people a voice is like little things like this, getting you guys on camera, letting people hear what you have to say. You know, and, you know, doing the whole research thing. Next thing on my manifesto, what I want to do is actually want to, you know, be really tough with the lecturers that give people bad grades. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but people have come to me with some disgusting marks. After I've seen they've got good referencing, everything, they still give them bad grades because of politics that happens with the university and the people they get their funding from. They have to give certain students bad marks. Now, you think to yourself here, if that's happening, you're getting bad marks because of the uni's politics or what have you, what happens when you graduate now and you have to go to the job centre? Not good, is it? You shouldn't have to suffer from that. I won't stand for that. You guys pay money, yeah, to do good work and be assessed fairly. If they're going to give you a bad grade, they should at least tell you why and give you good feedback. There's too many lazy lecturers that are just, you know, that are just not doing things properly and that. Third thing, too many people... like these guys, they're going home. They don't get to meet anyone. You see what I'm saying? There's not enough interaction in this uni.
Can I make another point, please? Like, you know, place to socialise. Like, we have 2 bars, which really...
One bar, they've closed the other one down.
One bar. How many students in this university? Come on, please listen to us. No. Please listen to us.
Hey, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
That's what this is all about. We're listening. Everyone is listening to the students. That's what this is about. You asked why did they close the bar? They said it cost £85,000 a year. It was making a loss of £85,000 a year, and that money can be used otherwise. Okay, for me as a student, when I heard that, I thought, okay, that's how much money it's losing. How much money is it making? How much money could it make? You see what I'm saying? So all those are options that I'm willing to explore as far as like having like a decent entertainment package, really listening to students, find out what kind of nights they want to come to and actually delivering it to them. You know, maybe then they wouldn't have to close it down. I mean, I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs, but that's the first thing that came to my head, you know. And as far as I said about student interaction, you know, you have clubs and societies, like the ACS and stuff like that. I don't know if you heard about that. But you know why you don't hear about them, yeah? Because there's only one woman who handled candidate for the president of the University of East London Student Union. I'm sitting here with Fred, who I've known for a number of years since the very beginning. We're both final year students. We've been here for a while. So I just want to get some feedback from Fred about the experience that he's had from the university and from the student union. So Fred, just tell me about the ups and downs, of university and the student union, and as far as like you feeling that you're represented by them.
Well, there's been a number of ups and downs, particularly with regard to, let me talk of the practical side. We have a bookshop whereby when we buy books, the books are at a higher price than the other places like books are sold. For instance, if you went online and you bought from Amazon, you'd see there is a big difference. Now, when you even have money, they put on the so-called UEL bursary on your progress card. You cannot spend this money anywhere else apart from the John Smith bookshop. John Smith even prices electronics at a higher price than you would find elsewhere. For a student, that is not right. Besides that, we have other problems like we do not get really good feedback when we need when we make inquiries about, for instance, facilities which we need more of in the UEL and the library. We have a problem with the books.
As far as the library, the availability of the books within the library.
They are not enough sufficient books. Yes.
Okay. You see, all these are points, because, I might have ideas, for what I would like to do if I do win the seat, but honestly, what you said, I didn't think about it. The John Smith shop, in the library, unless, that's what I'm saying, unless people are actually going up to the students and actually finding out what they want, then I think that people may still be disappointed with the student union.
And then another thing I wanted to point out, even this UEL progress bursary which they give, why it should be better if students are given an opportunity to spend that money. They don't have to spend it in John Smith. Yeah. Students should be able to get the money out and use it. Some people want to pay, to offset their air tickets when they are going on holidays, or to maybe it could contribute to paying someone's rent.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Okay, as I said, you've certainly raised some very, very interesting points that I didn't even put in my manifesto, but then again, one thing I did put in my manifesto that I would do is that the day that I would actually come into work is I will commission a market research company to collect questionnaires to find out what the students' preferences are as far as the goods and services that the university provides, like all the priorities. And then once I have that, I would then act with that upon that information. And if I do get elected, what would be your expectations as a student if you were to stay here and be at the university?
Well, if you are elected, at least there's some of these things that are pressing for a student. And we're in the middle of a credit crunch, and I also should see it being reflected in the manner in which our students are treated and the facilities they enjoy. For instance, even food you are like paying 5-star rates in a student environment. You are faced with the option of starving yourself and going and eating outside, but you don't have that luxury when you have academic pressure.
Absolutely. Someone mentioned to me while I was discussing about the possibility of having like a food courier service for the library. Like obviously like people could maybe order like from the student union shop online, like if they want like a drink or crisps or whatever, and then somebody runs across to the library, delivers it to them, give the cash and that's it, rather than them walking up and down. And also maybe even the possibility of like an ice cream truck or like a hot dog stand to be right outside the library at all times.
Even when we are here late hours, we need these facilities. For instance, when you have pressure of dissertations and you're staying until very late, there should be a facility for getting food, especially on the weekends. Even during the day, there's no canteen we can go to and have something to eat quickly. So these are some of the few things that I could think of. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Fred. You certainly raised some interesting points, and and if I do get elected, and if I do go in, then I'll be someone who really do speak for the for on behalf of all the students.